Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our sir and beloved friends. We are from Group 2 and we are going to present to you regarding value chain analysis. So, let us start. Firstly, this is our presenters for value chain analysis. Next, this is the contents that our groups are going to present for value chain analysis. There are 7 contents that we are going to present. My name is Ifa binti Amit Talal and I'm going to present to you regarding the overview of value chain analysis. Firstly, value chain analysis, or we call it as VCA, is a process where a company needs to identify its primary activities and support activities in order to add value to its final product. These activities are done in order to reduce costs and also improve the uniqueness of its product. Next, in 1995, Michael Porter introduced the concept of the value chain in his book, which are called Competitive Advantage. Based on this book, there are 2 elements of value chain, which are primary activities and support activities. Firstly, for primary activities, it was the activities that will directly add value to the final product. It relates to the physical creation and support of a product or service directly. Next, for the support activities, it means the activities that indirectly add value to the product. These are the activities that will support the primary activities. Next, there are 2 approaches used to perform VCA, which are cost advantage approach and also differentiate advantage approach. This approach depends on what type of competitive advantage a company wants to create. Firstly, if a company uses differentiation advantage approach, it will focus on the activities that create a unique product or differentiation in services. The companies that use this approach are such as Google, Apple, and Starbucks. Then, if a company uses a cost advantage approach, the company will perform its internal activities at a lower cost compared to other competitors. For example, some companies that use cost advantage approach are McDonald's, Amazon.com, and also Toyota. So, both approaches have a set of steps that need to be achieved in order to seek its competitive advantage. So that's all from me, and I will pass to Siti Suryana in order to present the next slide.
Porter describes 2 different categories of value creating activities, which are primary activities and support activities. These are 5 primary activities that relate directly to the physical creation, sale, maintenance, and support of a product or service. Okay, first is inbound logistics, which is primarily associated with receiving, storing, and distributing inputs to the products. Okay, it includes material handling, warehousing, inventory control, vehicle scheduling, and returns to suppliers. Just-in-time JIT inventory systems, for example, were designed to achieve efficient inbound logistics. Okay, next is operations that include all activities that are associated with transforming inputs into the final product form, such as machining, packaging, assembly, testing, printing, and facility operations. Okay, one way to use operations to achieve competitive advantage is by creating environmentally friendly manufacturing. Okay, third activity is outbound logistics, which is associated with collecting, storing, and distributing the product or service to the buyers. Okay, these activities include finished goods, warehousing, material handling, delivery vehicle operation, order processing, and scheduling. The example is shipping of goods in large lot sizes that can minimize the transportation costs. Fourth is marketing and sales activities that are associated with purchases of goods and services by end users and the inducements used to get them to make purchases. They include advertising, promotion, sales force, voting, channel selection, channel relations, and pricing. For example, product placement is a marketing strategy that many firms are increasingly adopting to reach customers who are not swayed by traditional advertising. Lastly, the service primary activity that includes all actions associated with providing service to enhance or maintain the value of the product, such as installation, repair, training, part supply, and product adjustment. Quickly respond to the customer needs and emergencies is one of the service primary activity. That's all for primary activities. We will continue with the supporting activities in the value chain analysis.
Hi, I'm Laili Lusna and I will continue with support activities. Support activities are all the action not directly involved in the evolution of a product, but instead provide important underlying support for a primary activity. There are four main forms of support activities. First, firm infrastructure, human resource management, technology development, and procurement. First, the firm infrastructure. Firm infrastructure refers to how the firm is organized and led by executive. It consists of activities such as accounting, legal, finance, control, public relations, quality assurance, and others. For example, the lawyers and risk managers whose oversight is crucial to ensuring the client's guidelines are followed, the investment risk is controlled, and the firm is operating within the regulation established by the SEC. Every organization needs to ensure that their finance, legal structure, and management structure work efficiently and help drive the organization forward. Inefficient infrastructures waste resources could affect the firm reputation and even leave it open to fines and sanctions. Next is human resource management. It consists of all activities involved in recruiting, hiring, training, developing, compensating, and, if necessary, laying off some personnel. The organization will have to recruit, train, and develop the correct people for the organization to be successful. If necessary, staff will have to be motivated and paid the market rate if they are to stay with the organization and add value. For example, service sectors such as the airline industry, employees are the competitive advantage as the customer are purchasing a service which is provided by employees, that is the pilot. There isn't a product for the customer to take away with them. Next, for the technology development, it is the use of electronic devices, computer system, and telecommunication to support the primary activities. The use of technology to obtain a competitive advantage is very important in today's technological-driven environment. Technology can be used in many ways, including production to reduce costs that add value, research and development to develop new products, and the internet so the customer have 24/7 access to the firm. And the fourth of support activities is the procurement. It is the process of negotiating for and purchasing raw materials. This department must source raw material for the business and obtain the best price for doing so. The challenge for procurement is to obtain the best possible quality available on the market for their budget.
I'm Nur Nadia. I will discuss about competitive advantage. Competitive advantage refers to outperform other rival in the same industry or compared to the industry average. Everything may be regarded as a competitive advantage in order to compete with competitors such as high return on asset, a bigger profit margin, or available resources like brand recognition. A company that can outperform its competitors over time has a sustainable competitive advantage. Otherwise, the business will not be able to survive in the market for the long term. There are two basic types of competitive advantage, which are cost and differentiation advantage. A cost advantage is a competitive advantage that a firm can achieve over another by lowering manufacturing or marketing expenses, or both, in order to provide lower pricing or use surplus revenue to boost promotion or distribution. A company has a cost advantage when it can manufacture a product or deliver a service at a cheaper cost than its competitor. Amazon, McDonald's, Ford and Toyota are a few organizations that apply value chain analysis in a cost advantage approach. A business must go through 5 analysis steps to gain a cost advantage, which are: step 1, identify the firm primary and support activity. Value chain manager have to look at how work is done to deliver customer value. All the primary and support activity involved in the production of a product or service must be recognized and segregated from one another. Okay, next, step 2, determine the relative importance of each activity in terms of the total cost of the product. The overall expenses of manufacturing a product or providing a service must be divided and attributed to each activity that was identified in the first step. The activity that are inefficient or incur higher costs must then be prioritized for improvement after be compared to the competitor. Activity-based costing is used to determine each process expenses. Next, step 3, identify cost driver for each activity. Cost driver are the factor that influence whether or not the cost of an activity will increase or decrease. The cost driver for various operations will differ. Manager can only focus on improving the cost if they really understand what variable drive them. Wage rate, work hour, and so on are examples of cost driver for labor-intensive activity. Next, step 4, identify link between activity. Cost reduction in one activity may lead to cost reduction in subsequent activity. Identify the connection between activity can help the company better understand how cost reduction will impact the whole value chain. However, cost saving in one activity might sometimes lead to greater expenditure in other activity. Next, the last step, look for cost-cutting opportunity. When a corporation is aware of its inefficient operation or cost driver, it may devise strategy to address them. For example, the cost driver of most activity in a product manufacturing is direct labor hour. The higher the cost of labor, the higher the cost of producing the product. Therefore, increased production speed and the installation of more automated process can help to reduce excessive periods for labor. The application of 5 steps will be explained further by Farida Maisara. Now I pass to Asla Zawani to explain about differentiation advantage approach.
Hi, I'm Asla Zawani with Teacher Ibrahim. I'll be presenting about differentiate advantage approach. So differentiation advantage arises from creating superior products, adding more features, and satisfying varying customer needs, which result in higher cost structure. Apple, Google, and Starbucks are one of the few companies who use value chain analysis using a differentiation advantage approach. The 3 prerequisite steps to gain a differentiation advantage are as follows. Step 1 is to identify the customer's value creating activities. After identifying all value chain activities, managers have to focus on activities that contribute the most to creating customer value. For example, Apple product success mainly not from great product features, but from successful marketing. We know that other firms also create higher quality technological products, so this is their differentiation. Step 2 is to evaluate the differentiation strategies for improving customer value. In order to increase product differentiation and customer value, managers have to consider these strategies such as adding more product features, focusing on customer service and responsiveness, to increasing the customization, offering complementary products. Step 3 is to identify the best sustainable differentiation. Superior differentiation and customers' value usually result in many interrelated activities and strategies used. The best combination should be used to achieve a differentiation advantage that can last a long time. That is all from me. Next will be moving on to Khalida.
Hello, my name is Khalida and I'm going to present the example of value chain analysis applications. For this example, I'm going to use an automobile manufacturing company. In this slide, you can see the basic value chain analysis for Genshin Automobile Company, and this company competes on cost advantage. As you can see, the first step is identifying the firm's primary activities. In the schedule, you can see that there are 6 primary activities in this company. Next step, we need to check which activity is important and which one is not really important. We also need to compute the total cost that assigned to each activity. In the schedule, the costliest activity is assembly and it can be considered as very important. In contrast, testing and quality control has the lowest cost and can be considered not important. In step 3, we need to identify cost drivers for each activity, which means we need to find the factors that drive the cost earlier in step 2. For example, in this case, the cost drivers for design and engineering is the number of new models. It means as the number of the new models of your products such as cars increase, the cost for mentioned activity also increase. Hence, the number of new models determines the total cost of the design and engineering activities. Next, we go to step 4. Links between activities. In this step, as Ms. Nadia has explained earlier, we need to find the links connecting one activity to another activity. For this company, design and engineering activity is linked to quality and control activity. Specifically, by having a high quality assembling process means lesser defects found in the product, and cost in quality control can also be reduced. It can be reduced because there is no need for extensive quality check since the assembly has done a good job producing a good quality product. In addition to that, by having a high quality assembling process, we can also reduce dealer support activities. This is because the defects have been reduced, which means lesser consumers sending back their products for repair. Other than that, by having fewer model design, we could also reduce the assembling cost. Finally, in the last step, we need to identify the opportunities for reducing costs. Based on step 4, we can deduct that Genshin Automobile Company needs to create just one model design for different regions to cut costs in designing and engineering. Because like I said earlier, fewer model designs equals to lesser costs in design and engineering activity. By doing this, we can also increase order size of the same material, which can lead to more discount and delivery costs can be reduced. We could also simplify assembling and quality control process since there are fewer model designs. In addition to that, marketing costs can also be lowered since they only need to promote one design model. As you can see, by only creating one model design, we could reduce a lot of costs. However, please bear in mind that Genshin Automobile Company's competitive advantage will not be complete without their support service. These are called the secondary activities. Together with the primary activities, it will increase the company's bottom line, which means more profit. In this slide, you can see the Porter's value chain model in Genshin Automobile Company's perspective.
In conclusion, there are two elements in Porter's value chain analysis, which are primary and support activities. It will depend on the company's competitive advantage in order to choose whether the company will use cost advantage approach or differentiation advantage approach for its business. Thus, by using this analysis, a company can easily identify the activities that need to reduce costs or optimize effort and increase the profitability of its business. Thus, this can help a company to improve its products or services to a greater value. So, that's all from us for value chain analysis. Thank you.